Hello, John.
Hello.
How you doing? What did you think of the last? What did you think of the previous call? Did he do a good job? Were you watching or listening?
I was. I thought he did an excellent job of presentations. Never easy to do something like this. So I think he did a good job. I love the segment.
Love this. I like the segment too. This could be the best segment of the show, Tyler. I keep saying that about every segment. Okay, so you have like 120 seconds to pitch us. You don't have to use all of it. Tell us what you're working with. Show us what you're working with. Go.
I'll tell you, Vivolve, Vivolve. That's my website. We're focusing on something different for the teens. Everybody's focusing on entertainment, the Twitters and the Facebooks and the music and this and that. We're going in the area of something that's purpose-driven and value-added. We're creating a website that's going to be a life profile site, if you will. There's over 15 million public high school kids in the nation alone. It doesn't include private, homeschooled, charter schools. What we're going to do is we're going to give them a location to put on, a spot to put on academics, athletics, career, and also volunteer service. Something like what we'll be doing here shortly has never been done before. They'll be able to put all their grades, test scores, attendance, everything like that uploaded. So basically the report card laid out for free for 4 years. All their athletic stats in over 24 sports that we have. They'll be able to have a career resume laid out. They could push a button and have a resume ready to go. And all their volunteer service, which is important when they get scholarships and everything. The problem we're solving, every teen has to do something after high school. Either school, work, or military. There's no other choice. So we're giving them a way to find that and make that happen much easier because it's not easy for us adults. So for the kids, it's going to be even harder. As I said, I'll say it's free for the kids. It's going to be free for the recruiters in all the different areas. They'll be able to go in and find their matches and do recruiting much more effectively. And then once we have all that in there, the revenue stream comes from the data subscribers. And we have 4 levels of security so kids are not getting spammed, and we hold that in high regard, their safety. So they're matched originally by their preferences and the companies. So Nike is not going to contact people that are just interested in flowers and books. They'll only have contact with the kids that are interested in shoes and apparel and what they sell.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Wrap up 10 seconds.
Okay. As I said, we've spoken to major companies around the country, and the feedback is tremendous. They said, build it, we'll be there. School counselors are interested, parents are interested, kids are interested. I think we're going to make something happen for all sides. It makes sense, and in this economy, everybody's looking for a way to do things more effective and more efficient, and
okay.
Vivolve's it.
Okay. I'm going to tell you 2 things.
Okay.
Number 1, your ability to pitch this is terrible.
Okay.
Number 2, your idea could be brilliant. And I am going to teach you how to present right now. Okay?
Perfect.
Just got to listen. Your idea, if I heard it correct, is for high school students to have a resume 8 years before they build their first one, which is when they graduate college. Is that correct?
Yes, half correct. We're
Okay.
we're originally in high school, and then we are going to roll out to a college version. But that
Right.
is
Okay.
pretty much right on point.
Okay. So, there are 2 ways to explain your idea that I think are very effective. One is present the problem, the frustration that you solve. The second is to make an analogy. You did neither. And Matt and I were looking at each other for the first 30 seconds of your pitch, and we were like, what is this? This is terrible. And then, I would say, Matt, I don't know if you had the same thing, but we started like nodding a little bit towards the 60-second mark. In the first 10 seconds, you got to get us. And the way to get us would be to say, right up front, we are building LinkedIn for high school students, a professional profile that will help them get into college, learn how to build a resume, and make the contacts they need for internships, etc. Our children are done a tremendous disservice because they don't even know what a resume is, let alone build one, until the week that they're going to go into the job market. What we want to do is start that process of learning how to professionally present yourself in a way that will land you opportunities when they are 14 years old. Waiting 8 years to learn how to professionally present yourself and having the only representation of yourself online, a MySpace or Facebook page filled with all kinds of kiddie nonsense, is no good. And these students are getting active young. They're doing great things in high school and sports. They're doing great things in terms of music, in terms of volunteering. But if you put it on a Facebook or a MySpace page, along with all the other party pictures, they're not going to get credit for it. And they don't want to send that URL. So we're going to give them a professional URL. Vivolve, which is a terrible name. We got to come up with something better than that. But let's say it was, my first resume is the concept, but let's throw that out there. It's like LinkedIn, but for teens, but teens never want to have the word teen in the name of the service. So this is branding for teens is very hard. You need to really think about that. But let's just call it, Tyler, what would we call the teen resume, teen LinkedIn profile, professional profile for teens, young profile, my first profile, my accomplishments, my life, my resume.
My life's taken.
Of course, but let's just think here for a second, no. Matt. I heard Alex yell something. Anyway, they go to LinkedIn Junior, which is for a working title. That's not the title, obviously, but that summarizes the concept. And they go to LinkedIn Junior, or my first LinkedIn, they get to present themselves in a professional way that's going to get them into college, that's going to get them into after-school programs, that's going to get them into internships. You have a great idea. Why did you come up with this idea?
Well, very simple. I was a sports writer for 20 years, and I would see mostly high school in the Chicago area. I would see kids that were all state, just phenomenal athletes year after year. They would go into the college, and once I would see them at spring break or Christmas break the next year, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to this small school, or I'm not playing anymore. I couldn't get any attention.
Right.
And this is 1996. I was just getting into the internet. And I said, there's got to be, to myself, I said, there's got to be a way kids can get profiled on the internet, use this new tool. And I went on there, I did research, and there were sites that were doing it. They were charging $500 and $1,000, and there were people paying it, not a lot. And I said, there's got to be a way to deliver it to all the kids that can't afford it and make it affordable. That's when I started on my quest. My big thing was I had no computer program background. I found several different people to start doing it for sweat equity. They believed in the idea, and it always came up. They had to go back to work, or they had something come up, so it always kind of fizzled, but I never let it fizzle. And then I advanced the idea and said, there's got to, what about the kids that aren't interested in sports anymore? Let's include college, okay? And then I advanced the idea more and said, what about the kids that are good students that are just burnt out after 12 years? Let's give them a spot.
Okay.
So by delaying over all these years,
so you had
I've been able to add on to it and make it all things for all kids right now.
So you had some insight because you were working with these kids. Wasn't your kids, you were covering kids in sports. So that's
right out of high school. I've been dealing with high school students.
Got it. Okay. Matt, what do you think of this idea? Give him some feedback.
I think it has a lot of potential. I like how you started off in one specific niche, the sports market, high school students playing sports, helping recruiters easily search across different schools, athletes by stats, criteria, having the stats and the data for all the games, something that's probably not available anywhere else on the internet. At least it doesn't sound like it from what you've said before. So I think that alone could be a valuable subscription service that you could sell to the college recruiters who are looking for star athletes, help them narrow down their choices. That's a relatively small market that you begin to focus on, start generating some revenue, some traction, and then evolve the business into new streams, into the academics, keeping track of the report cards, volunteer work, etc., etc.
Yeah, so you have a good idea, and you have no technical skill. And have you built this thing yet, or it's just sort of you have a landing page right now?
No, actually, I took on equity partners about 15 months ago, and we're probably within 3 weeks of launching right now. We have a prototype we're building. We've been working on. We're trying to get the final stages of getting out there.
And it's Vivolve?
Correct.
Okay,
Vivolve.com.
Yeah, I'm on the Twitter account.
To explain the name,
explain the name. Yeah.
Vivo in Latin is life, and we kind of, it's evolving your life, and is really where we came at from.
Okay.
So the My Life, we went over all that. Our research told us too that teens don't like to be called teens.
I know that. That was, yeah,
teens.
we know that.
So that's why we've stayed away from that, and we kind of came up with something. And there's barely any sites left in existence, names that are available. We want
Sure.
to something short that pops.
I got it. Yeah.
So.
I'm looking at your Twitter account right now. I'm sort of understanding the Vivolve. I got the Evolve thing, so I might not hate it as much. And sometimes you have to live with it for a couple of days for it to sink in. I mean, people said Mahalo, that's crazy. Yahoo's crazy. Google's crazy. So Vivolve is no more or less crazy than those three names. Tyler has an insight.
Yeah, here's an insight. The internship space and the application space
Right.
are both need serious to take advantage of the web. So like an internship marketplace that you could layer on top of this, that would every business that has an internship, because we have this problem finding good interns, and the interns have a problem finding the good internships. There's not a database
we have
for them
we have a
both
feature on there that'll allow that. They just click a button. Are you interested in part-time, full-time internship, military career? They're having a tough time recruiting. This way it'll be less intrusive. The kids will be coming to them instead of that. What we're doing is we're bringing all the kids to a lot of the recruiters, and the recruiters to them. They're meeting in the middle. And again, you summarized it really good, Jason. There's nothing for the kids. We're making taking care of their entertainment itch, but as far as getting them ready for the real world, it's not happening. And that's why we as far as the model, Matt, with the subscription there, I will go on record as saying there's a bunch of athletic sites that are out there. There's no academic sites that go to the level that we do, and there's no job sites that do anything. There's a couple part-time that have senior citizens in there. Nothing for kids to own.
We got it.
That's just for them.
Got it.
But we're trying to make it free. We're making it free for the kids.
We got it.
Well, I was going to say free for the recruiters, so there's no way, a barrier to entry that's going to take a lot harder to beat free for anybody that wants to come in behind us.
I would like to see the site, so send the beta login whenever it's ready. I'm going to take a look at it, and I would do a follow-up call about this. I think it's interesting. I think it sounds. How much did you raise already?
In Angel, family and friends, we're at about over the last 15, 16 months, about $70,000, and we're that's the big thing. We're looking most immediately. We're going to need about a $20,000 right up front here. We're going to do a security assessment right here at the end to make sure that we're as close to hack-proof as possible, storing all the data and everything. Mm-hmm. My developers partners are wonderful, and they got everything covered, but they're smart enough to never say the word hack-proof. So we're going to have some outside people go over that, and that's going to be in the neighborhood of like $20,000 as well.
$20,000 to do a hack? Wow.
Yeah, for one of the best services out there is, and it covers everything. So we listen. At the end of the day, we're protecting teens' data, and we can't.
You have to be careful when you're dealing with kids and private information.
Well, this is also whoever this company is that's charging you 20. It sounds like they need to get some options and charge you 5. But that's a whole other thing about negotiating prices down. We could talk about offline. It's good. I think you peaked both ranges. What do you think, Matt? It's kind of interesting.
If you could get enough students sign up and get enough data on there, there's so many different areas you could take this in.
Right.
So many different business models you could apply.
I love the idea of a LinkedIn for teens, and I like the fact that you understand you can't call teens teens, so you get the space. All right, good job. You did a terrible job pitching. You got a great idea. Hopefully we helped you a little bit with the pitching, and hopefully we get to keep up with this, because this could be good. Alex, make sure you keep track of all these incredible folks who are sharing their stories with us. It's good stuff. All right, we'll talk to you, John. Thanks for pitching us.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Bye.